Hey everybody, it's Alex from Old Man Badly. Today we're going to talk about the GPU market and the idea that there may actually be a light at the end of the tunnel that'll let people like me finally get a graphics card.
Old man playing video games badly.
So how's everybody doing today? Glad you could join me for another another kick at the can, as they say. Today we're talking about GPUs. Now, a little background for you. I have been trying to build a new computer system for 8 or 9 months now. It started in August, I guess, 2020. Collecting the parts for, my choice was to build an AMD system. Ryzen 3, go big, go big or go home, as they say. I really wanted just to build myself a nice big system that'll run anything and I won't have to think about it for years to come. So over the time, I've collected various parts, a good X570 motherboard, lots of RAM, M.2 drives, a 5800X CPU, water cooling for it, big power supply, a nice RGB Cooler Master case to match all my other Cooler Master cases. Not a sponsor, by the way. Everything's sort of ready to go. The thing's half built, but I just can't find a GPU for it. I cannot get a GPU for it for love or money. I can find them in my local market, but in my local market, you're talking, in excess of $1,000 for a 3060. And more often than not, tied sell to a very expensive and very crappy pre-built system that could end up running $2,500 for absolute junk. You wouldn't be able to resell the stuff for $100. It's that bad. A lot of companies are using the current shortage as a way to dump shit inventory as pre-builts, and that's really unfortunate. Pardon the English, but it's the truth, right? Anyway, but over the weekend and this morning, Monday morning, we are presented with the joy that there is, in fact, a light at the end of the tunnel. And in fact, I see lights in a couple of different tunnels at the same time, which is either encouraging or it means we're all going to get run over by the proverbial train. So let me show you where we got to, where I started on this. Where I started on this was, I believe this is from Tech Radar, I don't remember. Just a headline: NVidia GeForce RTX-3050 Ti and RTX-3080 Ti desktop GPUs are on the horizon. Now, the 3080 Ti is going to be a pricey, spendy, $1,000 MSRP from what I gather. It'll be up there. Not something I'm particularly looking at. It's a bit on the range I really don't want to spend in. But the RTX 3050 is interesting only because it is a low-end version. It will be the lowest of the RTX family. 3090, 3080, 70, 60, 50. It'll be the lowest of the RTX family. There's very likely, maybe in another 6 months, to be a 3010, but it might even be a GTX 3010 rather than an RTX 3010, and that'll be just business computer style graphics card, not a gaming card at all, anything like that. And this is a couple days old, and it's the idea that these are on the horizon, perhaps for as soon as mid to late June, even. Second one on the list is from Steve over at Gamers Nexus, video he just put up today, his hardware news. Steve's cool. The hair alone, Steve's cool. No, just kidding. But he's always got the interesting take, and you'll notice that there's a couple stories up here: NVIDIA 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti launching soon. So now we have a second confirmation on the 3080 at least, and a possible 3070 Ti. A little bit different from the 3070, I guess, an improved, upgraded, higher MSRP, of course. But conceivably that these two will have some form of hardware blocking to make them less likely to be used for mining. And then there's also the rumor, and this is the second part of it, of the RX-6600 XT and 6600. These two are important because these are, again, for AMD, the lowest end of their lineup, which is a 69, 68, 6700s. The 6600s will be the lowest in there. And most interestingly, the 6600 XT and 6600 will use the same GPU die. My guess is what's going to happen is they're going to build them to the 6600 XT spec and then bin down anything that doesn't meet that spec but matches whatever they've set as the line for the 6600. So they will get better yield out of every wafer because they'll be able to use more of the chips produced, because not every chip that's produced is perfect. There's a difference, I believe. It was a few hundred shaders or something difference between the two models. Otherwise, they're very similar. But it will create a situation where there'll be perhaps a better yield coming out of the factory. What isn't qualified to be an XT part may still be just a 6600 part. When you combine that and the 380 Ti, this is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel where the companies are finally making it down to the lower end of the market. And the lower end of the market is key because if you go down far enough down the line, it's not particularly financial beneficial for miners and such to buy these cards because they don't have enough power. This is particularly true if the manufacturers have also gone out of their way to hobble the cards and make them not perform as well in mining tasks. Mining requires a very specific set of instructions, and they may hobble those particular instructions just to slow the process down and make the cards a little bit less desirable for mining. So you see that light coming, through the tunnel, and that's all good. That's, more product, especially if the product's actually being made to aim to be delivered to the consumer marketplaces and not to the miners, is a very good thing. The next one is this one right here. This is a live updating page, by the way, so it updates every so often by itself. So see flashes, it's just because it's updated for me while I'm recording the video. Last 24 hours, Bitcoin has lost 24% of its value. And let me see. Yeah, so it's lost 10% in the last 24 hours and 21%. It's got a little bit of an uptick right now, but it's lost quite a bit. Ethereum's lost nearly 10% and 13% respectively in 1 day and 7 day performance. This number here at 45,000, give or take, I've seen it as low as 42,000 at one point this morning, but it's not showing up on this chart. But we definitely had some lows in the 44 range and whatnot. This is a significant change considering that 32 days ago, the price peaked out at 63,000. Being from 63,000 down to 45,000 is a 40-something% drop. Fast math. That's big numbers. That's a big drop, and it's cost a lot of money. Apparently, there is some suggestion. Elon Musk put up a very pithy little post on Twitter that sort of semi-confirmed that Tesla may have in fact either sold off their Bitcoin holdings or be in process of it or be considering it. That created a negative, but there's a whole lot of other things as well. The Binance coin, which is number 3 on that list, dropping like Ethereum. There's also questions of certain legal problems for Binance, I think it is. There's stories out there of government probes and the government looking at the trading companies and going after, of course, people who have traded and profited from crypto without paying taxes. The IRS has no sense of humor in America, I can tell you that for certain. So we have that, we have that, we have that, and then we have the final, I call it the final step in a puzzle, which is this one here, and I have to turn myself off so you can enjoy this one the most. Doink! Okay, this one here is a calculator for calculating Ethereum. If you want to mine Ethereum, you know, what can you make, what can you do, what can you get? And it uses, I mean, real world values, the average last hour for the value, block reward value and a difficulty. And I put in a hash rate of 50, which is, from what I understand, somewhere in the range of what a modern 3060 or similar card would do. I've seen numbers as low as 40 something, as high as 60. One thing I learned a long time ago is that crypto sites are really slippery with honest data. You can ask the same question to 3 different sites, and 3 different sites will give you 3 different results. Their methods are all over the road. Anyway, the important one in this is, with Ethereum's price going down, but its difficulty having gone up a fair bit over the last little while, what's happened is there's a squeeze as to how much money you can make mining. So with this 50 hash rate card, the current profits by hour is 22 cents. It's gone up very slightly. 524 for a day, 36 a week, 157 a month. Now, if you're making 157 a month after expenses, of power expenses, shall we say, we don't deal with more than that, and your card cost you 750, it's going to take you about 5 months to pay your card off. At the end, when you sell the card off, you'll probably sell it for, you know, 150, 200 bucks, whatever, and you'll make a little profit there. But realistically, the break-even point on the discussion of mining with a GPU right now and mining Ethereum is about 5 months. The thing is, this number is always going backwards. If you look at down here, this is the last week number for a weekly, and it was 56 bucks. This week, it's only 36 bucks. Things keep changing, and it keeps getting worse and worse. The money you could have made 6 months ago mining is not the same money, is much more per day and per week and per month than you can make now. More and more people have gotten in, more and more people are applying things, more and more cards are sold and used. The difficulty rate goes up, the return goes down, and away it goes. The other thing is, if you look at these things on an ongoing basis, if you look at them as to you know, the estimated rewards and whatnot, this is only like 7 days, right? If you look at it over a period of weeks or months, you would see that this is a continuing downward trend. There is a point where the profits will disappear at a given hash rate, and that you'll require more hash to make the money. And there's a point where various graphics cards can no longer make enough of a hash rate to make it going. If you have an older graphics card that does only 25 mega hashes, your profits are already down to $74 a month, $17 a week, and that's down from 27 just a week ago. This has led to, and I've seen a few videos on YouTube about this already, people finding guys selling older series cards, particularly RX 570s and 580s apparently were really good mining cards, and they're starting to show up as mining cards for sale in the used market, because they're no longer profitable to run, particularly in places that do not have cheap electricity. Because you got to remember, I'm doing this at a 10 cent per kilowatt hour. If you double that, the profits drop significantly, and it really does get to a point very quickly, depending on where you live and how much electricity costs you, that it could become very, very difficult, if not impossible, to make money mining with a GPU. I'm back. So what does that mean for the rest of us humans who, are trying to buy GPUs? Well, the two things that are happening here, and this is the convergence, and you got to watch for this, is it's getting less and less profitable to mine with GPUs, which means that there should be fewer and fewer buyers, especially for the lower end cards, looking to buy the cards to mine with. You got to think of it, it's like a rising water. The water keeps going up, and slowly but surely different cards are going underwater. I have a GTX 1060 in my system. Even if I wanted to, I don't think I could ever make a penny mining much of anything with it. It would be right on line. I might make $1 a day, but I would have to absolutely kill the card to do it. So not useful. And it will get to a point where the cards that have already been purchased and have been put in production in mining will become unprofitable or less profitable, to the point where people can make more money selling them in the marketplace because of the GPU shortage. Interesting effect too. If you can sell a used 3060 that's only a few months old for $300 or $400 right now, or even $500, because the market is so boned, that's more profit than you can make mining Ethereum for 5 months. People will start to do that because they want to make profit. I mean, they're in this to make a profit. First one to sell their cards will make the most money per card. Last one will make the least, probably close to nothing. So it's interesting, because there will start to become more and more pressure, especially if the price of Bitcoin drops or the difficulties continue to rise. There will be a point where it will become more and more profitable for them to sell their cards than it is to mine with their cards. Like I said, especially at the lower end as the water rises. The second part is, with the companies producing more lower end cards, or in the case of NVIDIA, apparently producing mid to high range cards, but that are difficult or impossible to mine with, the potential is that more of these cards will make it to the marketplace. Now, this is not going to solve everything, because there is still a significant backlog of demand for these parts, because consumers haven't been able to get them for a long time. And those of us who go in the Newegg shuffle every night and receive the "you haven't been selected" message every day will know how this goes. It's just an ongoing process. I believe that we are in May right now. I would say that by September of this year, which is probably a little bit rosier than most people will tell you, by September of this year, I believe that there will be enough of a change in the marketplace that we will see the prices of GPUs finally coming down. We will start to see stores actually having occasional actual inventory, especially in the lower end product. So 3050s, 6600s, non-TI 3600s, or 3060s, sorry. I believe you'll see more of those cards. But I do believe the higher end cards, so the 3080, 3090, the 6900, I think those will still be fairly rare, because they will still be making mining profits with them for a while to come. But as these lower end cards roll out, I think you'll see the market start to get a little bit more satisfied, and people settling for a slightly lower end card just to get the show on the road. And with the miners selling their used cars on the other side, I think we will be back heading towards MSRP by September or October. It might stay a little bit high through Christmas, because obviously, the Christmas market is a big deal. But by January, February next year, I suspect we'll be seeing cards at or below MSRP. And will be just in time for us to get the hype towards the new series of AMD cards and the So the RX 7900s and the RTX 4000 series, because it'll be that time. It'll be almost 2 years already, and we'll be ready for another set. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep my eye on the marketplace, and I'll keep updating it. But hopefully we've found the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully I'll be able to get some GPUs soon. So let me know what you think. Tell me about your stories too, about how you've been looking for GPUs and if you've had any success. And, let's chat. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell and all that stuff. You know how this works. Bell's over there, the likes over there. Just do it to it. Make an old man happy.
Old man playing video games badly.